Analytics. It's the one word that the modern basketball fan can't escape. For some people, it represents the decline of the sport we love, the death of the mid-range,
Back 3, 2, Michael falls, fires. Yeah! Does it again!
the obsession with threes and layups,
No.
Oh my goodness, Valentine!
No.
Whoa, no!
spreadsheets replacing the eye test.
He's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
For others, it's the future. A smarter, more efficient way to play that maximizes every possession and gives teams a winning edge. But the truth is, analytics has a history. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. It grew out of specific teams, specific ideas, and a very specific moment in NBA history. And yet, somewhere along the way, a few big misconceptions have taken root, shaping the way fans, media, and even some players think about the game. Today, we're going to dig into where those ideas came from, how they've changed, and why the full story of analytics is a lot more complicated than you might think.
The scoring factor on three. 1, 2, 3, scoring factory.
What's up, everybody? Coach Kevin with the Scoring Factory, back with episode 8 of our breakdown series. Today, we're talking about analytics, and let's get right into it. To understand where and when analytics burst onto the scene in the NBA, it's helpful to go back to Houston. This was where Daryl Morey, Mike D'Antoni, and James Harden crafted an offense built entirely around efficiency. The formula was simple: prioritize rim shots, free throws, and three-pointers, because the math made it clear those were the shots that paid off on average. During the 2018-19 season, Harden was in another universe.
He's averaging 40!
He generated 18.1 isolation points per game, scoring at 1.1 points per isolation possession, by far the league's best. And just for context, that same year, the league average isolation PPP hovered around just 0.91 to 0.95. The stark difference, Harden scoring at 1.1 in ISO territory while the league sat below 1 point per possession, is exactly why Morey's math-first approach gained so much traction. It worked because it was tailored to an elite player executing at another level. But remember, that success validated a system built specifically around a generational talent. And while it worked beautifully for him, the formula doesn't apply the same way for most players who simply don't have his level of isolation efficiency. In the early days, basketball analytics was painted as cold, mechanical math. Points per possession was the stat that drove everything. If a certain type of shot averaged more points over time, that shot was labeled good, and anything less efficient was basically frowned upon. That's why mid-range jumpers started disappearing. They didn't produce as many points per possession as layups, threes, or free throws. But the modern era of analytics is far more complex than a simple math problem. We now have player tracking data that tells us how fast a player moved, how tightly they were guarded, and even how their shot mechanics change under pressure. We can model the value of a possession not just by where the shot came from, but by who took it, how much time was on the clock, and what the defense was doing. In other words, analytics has evolved from being about averages to being about context, and that's changed how we evaluate shot selection and player roles. Something that you'll hear a lot of NBA fans say today is that the mid-range is dying. And while that statement isn't inherently false, it needs context. Take a look at this graph. You'll see the shot that's really going away is the deep mid-range, the 16 to 24 foot shot. Those foot on the line, high school threes. Really, what is happening is that those shots are turning into threes, as analytics show that the three-pointer, even at a lower percentage, is more efficient than the deep two. Here's where a lot of fans get tripped up. Analytics has never been about erasing certain shots. It's about earning them. The mid-range shot isn't dead. It's just that the club to take those shots is more exclusive now. Players like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Devin Booker have efficiency numbers from mid-range that most players can't dream of. For them, those shots are efficient. This is where the numbers meet the eye test. If you're a role player shooting 38% from mid-range, analytics says that you should probably pass on that look. But if you're KD hitting those same shots at 50% or better, you're generating as much value as a league average three-pointer. Now that we know what we know about how shot diets can differ from superstars to role players, let's play a game. I'm going to show you an empty shot chart. No name, just distribution. You tell me if you think this shot chart belongs to a superstar or a role player. If you guess superstar, you're correct. This shot chart belongs to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league MVP this past season. He averaged 32.7 points per game, shooting the ball from anywhere and everywhere on the court. This time, it was Dante DiVincenzo, a great role player, but not a primary scoring option. He took most of his shots from behind the arc and at the rim, just as the analytics would suggest. Okay, last round. I'm going to show you 3 shot charts, and you have to tell me which belong to superstars and which belong to role players. If you said that the 2 on the outside belong to superstars, you'd be correct. On the left, we have Devin Booker. On the right, we have Kevin Durant. And in the middle, we have Alex Caruso. As you can see, the shot charts display that the superstars have a greater variety of shots and shoot considerably more mid-range than the role players do. Here's one last chart for you. This is shot diet, but sorted by salary. Notice something? The mid-range, that so-called dead zone, is alive and well, but it's mostly taken by the highest paid players in the league. When you're making a lot of money, chances are you're elite enough to make those shots worth it. Everyone else, your job is to hammer the rim and space the floor. So here's the takeaway. Analytics isn't here to ruin basketball. It's here to understand it, to separate the shots anyone can take from the shots only a select few can make. The mid-range isn't dead. It's just VIP access now. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next. Follow us on our social medias at The Scoring Factory, and as always, I will see everybody in the next video.